Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. I hope you're all there and you can hear me. Jeff is here as well, so hello to Jeff.
I'm well. I think.
Hello to Jeff. Hang on, I've got to stop something here.
I'm
Okay. Yes, I was just testing the sound there. So, okay, Jeff, how are you, buddy?
I'm well, and it's an absolute beautiful day. I'm in Council Bluffs, Iowa. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a spring day here.
A spring day. It's a bit of a winter day here, I'm afraid to say. Definitely a bit of a winter day here, but hey, you can't have it all, can we?
We have the Ponderer with us tonight, and I'm assuming the ever lovely Mrs. Ponderer, and at least a couple of the Ponderettes.
Oh,
and
brilliant.
We have Alison O'Brien with us, and here we are.
Hello, everybody. Welcome along to the show. Hopefully, we've got the audio sorted out because we had terrible issues last time. But Jeff's telling me I'm sounding a bit clearer. Well, we've got some interesting stuff lined up for you tonight. Please join in the comments. The phones are manned now. If you want to call in, there's the phone number. You can call us anytime you like. And you can also, if you've got a video, you want to send a video in, please do that. Now, I just have my glasses here. There they are. Now, you'll see me putting these on and off all night long because I'm as blind as a bat. Over to Jeff. What's happening, Jeff?
We have the station master with us. I'm very glad. He says, greetings, all back from a hard day's work.
Oh, good. I have to say, I did see Bernie's train video. I do like toy trains. I'm a sucker for a toy train. I really am. And that locomotive he had on was very interesting. We'll talk to him about that later, maybe. So what have you been up to this week then, Jeff?
Well, it's been a very, very, very busy week. Tomorrow I'm on my way to Vicksburg, Mississippi. Which was a very important Civil War city, and I'll be going down there hauling farm chemicals.
You're shifting farm chemicals again?
Yes, I am. And this week is Mardi Gras.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
It is.
I didn't know that. Well, I've just learned something here. So that's what you've been up to this week. What have I been up to? Well, I've made a couple of interesting films this week. First of all, I went off to the Scout Hut and I met this lovely little lady. Check this out. And I want to talk to some of the users here, and that means going down in the world. So we're going to do that right now. Hang on. Hello, Lexi. How are you? I love this lady. What are you? You're a beaver, aren't you? Really? Do you like being a beaver? And is this where you come to be a beaver every week in this hall? And what would it be like if you couldn't do that? You wouldn't like it, would you? They do say never work with animals and children. The hall, haven't we?
She talked your ear off, but she told a story.
You carry on being a beaver. What's next after beavers?
Cubs.
Cubs. So then you cub. Then you become a scout. Yeah. And then you go off into the mountains and go hiking and do things like that. Yeah. Cool. Lovely talking to you, Lex. Bye-bye.
I think the Ponderer, or not the Ponderer, the station master says I have a photo to prove it and I could show it through email. We're not hearing you, Gabe. You turned your mic down.
To do this. So that's the Scout Hut I visited this week, and they're trying to raise about £9,000 because, believe it or not, they've got no heating. These poor kids are going in there to do Cubs, Scouts, Beavers, and all the other things they do, and they've got no heating in there. So they're trying to raise some money. They're trying to raise £9,000 to get some heating in there, and also the people helping them raise the £9,000 are going to use the building as well. And they do work with families who've fallen out with their children, and they give them spaces to bring back their children and rebuild their family. So it's all good work going on down there. And then what else did I do? This was a favorite of mine. I was invited. We have an owl sanctuary near us, and they work with people who are depressed or have different. I don't know the full details, but they work with depressed people, people who have certain needs, and they treat them by letting them handle owls. It's a good idea, but they're moving, so I went down to see them, to see what they're up to. Ladies and gentlemen, this I'm told is Knickknacks, the star of the show. Knickknacks. Is this the smallest owl you can get?
No, he's not. But what if I get you? There we go. Oh, he's got a little sweet spot.
I want one. Yeah, I seriously want. Look at this. I seriously want one of these.
I think you left your mic turned down. Yes.
Do this. Yes. So there we go. So they've got several owls there, and all different shapes and sizes. Knickknacks you saw there was the smallest of the bunch, and obviously the cutest because you tickle him just behind his ear and he went all cute. But they have all sizes, and the biggest one they have, it sits there and looks at you like it's going to eat you. It really does. But if you go to my channel, you'll see them all there because I did the video this week, and they again are moving, so they needed help taking that shed down you can see in the background, and they also needed help putting it up. They're moving to Paddington Farm, which some of you will know if you've been watching the videos, because I've done a couple of videos from up there. And so that was the week that was, as it were. So hang on a minute, let's just have a look here. I've got a running order, so we don't forget anything. So anyway, yes, so don't forget, guys, before we carry on, this is your show. We want you to interact, comment, phone up. We want you to send in videos. Anything you want to do, join in, feel free, and it's your show. Now, Jeff was recently at home for a well-earned rest, weren't you, Jeff? Back in Montesano over there in Washington.
I was, and I needed it. My batteries were pretty flat by the time I got there.
I bet. Anyway, while he was there, Jeff went to the post office and he sent me this. Can you see that? That is a 1970 reproduction of a Sears catalogue. Now, if you think Amazon is taking over the world, then you ain't seen nothing yet. Have a look at this. This is the contents of this book. Here we see electric belts. If you wanted anything drug-wise, you had it, you ordered it. The watches, if you wanted a watch, you went to Sears. If you wanted tableware, spoons, you went to Sears. These guys had everything. Here's the clock department, look. And these were nice looking clocks, some of them. Men's outfitters, you got your clothes from them. And then you could get the posh outfits for the Sundays from there. You could also, there's an organ. They had a music department. If you needed musical instruments, they had them there too. Violins. Look at that. A genuine $7.35 Stradivarius. And don't forget the ladies. All this lovely stuff that you could have bought. And of course, this is America. You've got to have guns. There's a good old Winchester, just like you saw John Wayne using. And if you're a farmer, look, you got all your farming gear from there as well. And this being before the days of cars, you could even get your horse and cart there and all the bits and pieces that you needed for your horse. Now, I think it's probably safe to say that Jeff knows a little bit more about this than I do. I mean, we had Little Words and we have other little catalogues where you used to come around and pay sort of 10 pence a week towards your washing machine or whatever. But this was a completely different thing. Jeff, give us an idea of the scale and the scope of what these guys actually got up to.
Well, Sears was the largest industrial complex in the world. They were based in Chicago. And at one time, the Sears Tower was the tallest building in the world. I grew up with Sears. We bought our school clothes from Sears. And the second week of September, it was called the Wish Book. And it showed up. and it was the Christmas catalog, and you circled the things in the book that you wanted for Christmas. It was Sears was Sears was Amazon is a company, but Amazon is not part of our culture. Sears was like a member of the family.
And it supplied everything, because I mean, these guys were living like the Waltons in the middle of nowhere in these wooden houses, log houses, and you know, they couldn't just hop in a car because they didn't have a car and nip down to the local mall, because there weren't any malls, to buy the shopping. It was a totally different thing. So they depended. This book brought them everything, didn't it? They could buy everything from the knives and forks on the table to the stuff they used to grow, the food they'd eat. I mean, it's everything. It is all encompassing, every strand of your life.
And they did good, better. They did cheap, good, better, and best. So everyone ordered from Sears. Even rich people ordered from Sears.
So you remind me talking about the Wish book. We had a comedian over here, and he used to refer. We have a company called Argos, and Argos was what they call a catalogue showroom. And the idea is you had your Argos catalogue, and you looked through it for what you want, and you wrote it down on a piece of paper and took it up to the counter, and they gave you what it is, but it had everything in it. And Bill Bailey was the comedian. He referred to it as the laminated book of dreams, which I thought was rather funny. But you used to, I mean, you'd be there with your sister, like with a pencil, like, putting circles. You were telling me to putting circles around the things you wanted for Christmas.
And notes. If you think I've been really good this year, I want this. If I haven't been quite so good, then I'll take this. Yes.
That's excellent. I mean, that's organization, isn't it?
The station master said that he sent you a picture if you wanted to show it. And Nigel Sadler has joined us.
Hello, Nigel. Good to see you here. I'm just going to see if I can't get this to work. I've got to go and get my emails. Hang on, let's have a look. Keep talking, Jeff. Keep talking.
We have someone new that I've never seen before, Laurette. I've never. You're very welcome. Welcome.
Oh, Laurette. Okay, so in here it says somewhere is my mail. Here it is. Okay, Gmail. There you are. You can never find things when you want them on the night, can you?
No.
Here it is. Okay, I got it. Right, what's he sent? Oh, yeah. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Here's young Bernie at work at a station, being a station master. Can you see that? That's Bernie, the station master. Oh, we went there earlier on this year, didn't we? Well, I did, and it's a fascinating place, Bodgham Station. Sorry.
He looks official with his official railroad watch.
He does, doesn't he? He does. That's a very nice official railroad watch. We'll talk about railroad watches in a minute, or what about watches in a minute. So yeah, that's really interesting about the Sears, and we can't begin to understand, I don't think, how it must have been just to not have the things that we take for granted now. And you know, for some people, your connection with the world was that Sears catalog when it came out. It's incredible.
Yeah, you got in the spring, you got the spring catalog, and then you got the summer catalog, was usually the smallest. Yeah. And then you got the fall catalog. That was the biggest because it had school clothes and everything in it. And then you had the Christmas catalog.
Yeah, which was the Wish book. There's an actually interesting little bit of history here that I wanted to cover while we're talking about this. You may have noticed when I was showing you the pages from the Sears catalogue there that there was actually no watches at all. But there was lots of these pocket watches, and I'll tell you the story of that. Up until, well, the point of this catalogue came out in 1900, men didn't wear wristwatches. They just didn't wear them at all. In fact, women wore watches on their wrist, and it was considered effeminate to wear a wristwatch.
It's true.
Then along comes World War One. Two things happen. One, soldiers go to war and they like to take something with them to remind them of their sweetheart. And so often their sweethearts would say, here's my watch, wear that and think of me. So suddenly these butch boys going off to fight the Germans had wristwatches on. Then going forwards into the war, if you're operating certain types of machinery like dirty great big guns and stuff, you can't be reaching into your pocket and going, oh yes, there's the time. You need to know quickly what it is, and the quickest way is to have a wristwatch or a watch on your wrist. So they were wearing watches on their wrist in the war. Then the war finishes and these men come home wearing wristwatches. Suddenly the veterans, the brave men, the heroes who had been fighting the mighty Bosch in the trenches were wearing the wristwatches. So it went from being an effeminate thing to being a, hey, I'm a man kind of thing. Isn't it, Jeff? What can you fill in on that? Because I probably missed something out.
That is exactly. And the wristwatches that they had were converted zero size and they were small size watches. Yeah, but when they came home, it was considered only proper for veterans to wear wristwatches.
Yeah, absolutely. You telling me there was a guy who named after a mountain who was who kicked someone out of court or something over it, didn't he?
Kennesaw Mountain Landis. Yeah, he was the baseball commissioner, and they had a scandal. I believe it was 1918, 1919. They had a scandal where one of the teams in the World Series threw the game, and Kennesaw Mountain Landis, as the baseball commissioner, was in charge of having a hearing. And one of the lawyers that went before him was wearing a wristwatch. And he asked him, he said, "Are you a veteran?" And he said, "No." And he said, "Then I'll thank you to remove that wristlet watch in my court."
And it was up until it was in the 20s before it came sort of the norm, wasn't it? Really?
Yes, it was in the late 20s, yes.
Yeah. And of course, a lot of the manufacturers who were making these, like Illinois and Elgin, went on to make watches. I could just show you, mate. This actually is a railroad watch here that you can see. Now look at the size of that, and then here's a wristwatch, which is a converted pocket watch. Can you see? Look, same size. And this pocket watch conversion here, you can see it originated as everything's reversed. It's so difficult. It originated as a pocket watch because here's the crown at the top where you wind it, incorporated into the strap. Now, I've got another watch here. This is a Glashütte Union from 1907. Again, this started life as a pocket watch, same size. But this one was actually converted and put into put into a proper case and converted. So you can see that the crown is over here at 3 o'clock where it would normally be. So that's the development. And then, of course, proper watches came along. But I just thought that was interesting because it was kind of hidden in the Sears thing, you know, that watches weren't there. There were lots of things. Cars weren't there. Various other things, motorcycles, things that came along just after this catalogue was produced.
Sears sold everything. They sold houses, motorcycles, cars. The motorcycles they sold were Excelsiors because Excelsior was owned by Schwinn, and they, of course, had an agreement with Schwinn to sell their bicycles. And the cars that they sold were Henry J. They sold. You could buy a complete house. You could buy a complete barn, silos, Thompson machine guns. They sold pretty much anything you could think of. Dynamite. They sold pretty much anything you could think of at one time or another.
And even Amazon draws the line at that. You can't buy dynamite on Amazon, as far as I know. But yeah, that was interesting. And again, I want to thank Jeff for this every day. Look how dogged it looks. This gets picked up every day and read. It's just like it's going into another world. It's absolutely fascinating. Anyway, how are we getting on? Are we still getting people that have gone away and gone home bored, Jeff? Are they still there?
No, there's still a few hanging around. The Wandering Ponderer said it's like a Littlewoods catalog.
It is, but it's not, because Littlewoods was a different thing. Littlewoods he did lots of clothes and toys and household stuff, but you couldn't go out and buy farm implements. You couldn't
That
go.
was Spiegel here. The Spiegel catalog was clothes and house furnishings and.
Yeah, Littlewoods. The idea was you went round and the lady operated the book. She took the money and you paid on a weekly basis and got your stuff. But I mean, it was nothing like Sears, because I mean, Sears did everything. I think, was it you or me earlier on said if you could buy it, Sears sold it. It was that.
Sears sold it, yeah.
Yeah. So
Ernie says it, and Freemasons. No.
Did they have a shop? I thought they had a funny name.
Freeman's.
Oh, Freeman's. Yes, another catalogue, but again, none of them had the scope of Spears. I mean, Sears, like I said, again, did everything. You know, you couldn't go and buy a plough in those catalogues. You couldn't go and buy an artesian well. Sears sold absolutely everything. If you could buy it, they sold it. The catalogues we have in this country were nothing like that. They never had that scope. Never had that scope. But then I guess we didn't need it because we didn't have people stuck 150 miles from the nearest civilization.
Well, yeah, I mean, you had people in North and South Dakota that was easily 100 miles to the nearest town. So,
absolutely. And
after they passed the RFD law, the Rural Free Delivery Law, you could get your mail delivered to your house regardless of where you lived.
Absolutely, yeah, and that made a big difference. Anyway, that was the Sears catalogue. I just thought I'd show everybody that because I find it fascinating. Now, last time we did a show, we had some sound problems with the audio, but one of the things I did was I started a series of I want to do it every time we come on of either video YouTube channels that I watch or maybe Jeff has watched, or even you guys. I mean, if you want to make a video about a YouTube channel that you like, do it and send it in. If you don't want to make a video but you like a channel, tell me and I'll review it for you. But anyway, in the meantime, I like travel videos. I'm going to be doing more travel vlogging soon, especially when my parents' house sells and I can get back into Europe. I'm going to be traveling a lot and vlogging for the channel. So I do watch a lot of vloggers. And there's a particular favourite of mine, a chap called Steve Marsh. Now, Steve is Scottish. He's based up in Montrose, which is on the east coast of Scotland, between Aberdeen and kind of Edinburgh, that side of Scotland running up there. And him and his girlfriend, they go off all over the place. She's Polish, called Alicia. But have a look at this, and you'll get an idea. If I put my glasses on, I can see what I'm doing again. You'll get an idea of what it is they do. And welcome back to another look at the YouTube channels that I've been watching. This week it is the turn of Steve Marsh and his travel channel of the same name. Steve, often with his girlfriend Alicia by his side, is one of those channels where you don't watch just one film. No, you end up watching several. Steve is based in Montrose, and so Scotland features heavily in his films. He also spends a lot of time in the Western Isles. It's not all Scotland though, and he often travels around Europe and sometimes further, but he always manages to find interesting things to see and do. This, for example, is Malbork Castle in Poland, the largest castle in the world. And here they are at El Caminito del Rey, which, although not as dangerous as it once was, is still pretty hairy. I also really like the fact that he films his travels. That could be a ferry or a train. Here he is in Norway. One week he could be on a commercial flight and then the next on the shortest flight in the UK. So that is Steve Marsh. I hope you enjoy him as much as I do, and don't forget, if you've got a favourite YouTube video, send it in. We'll do a feature.
You need to turn your mic up. Quit turning it down.
That's the Steve Marsh channel that I enjoy watching. It's very watchable. He goes to some fascinating places, and he always pulls out the interesting stuff to watch. But that's really good. So that's Steve Marsh. Again, if you've got a channel that you like, let us know all about it. Maybe somebody else might like to watch it.
Nigel Sadler says the main themes I watch on YouTube are archaeological or space flight.
Yeah, I watch a lot of archaeology on there. Not so much about space flight, but
and the station master said I like to watch railway videos and train drivers' eye views. I wonder why.
Yeah, why?
We have someone new tonight that I've never seen before. Abigail Irvin.
Oh, Abigail. Yes, Abigail. I've seen before. Hello, Abigail. How are you doing? Good to see you here. Hope you enjoy what we're doing. We're new at this, and we're just finding our feet. We want it to be like a community show, but we want to bring interesting things along to talk about and tell you about things. Like, for example, the Sears catalog. We've got a few other bits and pieces lined up. Bigfoot is another thing that's been in the news recently. Now, I have to admit, people have been saying Bigfoot's been sighted in the UK. I'm a little bit cynical, but because of running a channel, I like to consider myself open-minded. Now, if Bigfoot is running around the countryside out there, and bearing in mind he has been spotted, apparently, we are told, in some woods just to the west of Bristol, which is about 26 miles from here. So it's close. Then the people of Glastonbury, Jeff feel, need to know about it. I mean, do you keep your cats and dogs in? I mean, is it safe to go out after dark? If there's a Bigfoot out there, people want to know. So with this in mind, we enlisted the help of the international famous detective, sleuth, and general finder of things, Barratt Holmes. Now, you've probably heard of Barratt Holmes. He's always on the news. He is the great-great-grandson of the famous Sherlock Holmes. So if anybody can find this thing, it's going to be your man Barratt. So we brought him on board. We set him off and we told him, and we've been doing regular updates through the last week. So I thought you might like to see what we've been doing. So this is a little sort of a skipping stone through some of the videos to see what Barratt's been up to and who we've been interviewing, because we've been pulling in all the stops. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with the wonderful Mel. Hello, Mel. How are you?
Good afternoon.
We have a simple question. We're helping Barratt Holmes in his search for Bigfoot. Do you believe there's a Bigfoot here in Glastonbury?
Not seen anything to disprove it, so I can't count it out really.
Okay.
But if anyone has any information, they can contact us on 999 or 101, or they can contact us online.
Fantastic.
And
you'll let Barratt know?
Yeah, we'll let Barratt know.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
He's busy now. He's at the top of town. We're going to go and see him later.
Excellent. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So I'm here with the wonderful Dr. Michael White from Glastonbury Town Council. Hello, Michael.
Hello.
With the question that's on everybody's lips in town at the moment, does Bigfoot exist? And if he does, has he been seen in Glastonbury? Michael, over to you.
Right, thank you. Bigfoot definitely exists. I haven't seen in Glastonbury. We have a whole branch of zoology called cryptozoology that is related to the study of unusual beings. There's certainly evidence in the Himalayas for them, and then also in the Malaysian jungles, Indonesian jungles, there's something called orang pendek, which is like a sort of similar thing, but hanging around there. And I think they have up in Canada as well.
Fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. You've heard it from a doctor of science there. These guys exist, so he may well yet be found. The search continues. So there you go. As you can see, the jury's out. We have
I
had.
think that the reason you're not finding him is tequila. You drink enough tequila.
Tequila?
Yeah.
We have to drink it, or do we leave it out for him?
A half bottle of tequila. I guarantee you go out in the woods, you'll see Bigfoot.
That's true. There is always that. You'll probably see many, many more things apart from Bigfoot. But we have had it confirmed by Barrett. It came through the other day that he's fairly confident Bigfoot is not to be found within the Abbey confines. So if you're coming to Glastonbury to visit, you are more than safe if you want to go into the Abbey. But at the moment, we can't recommend that you go anywhere else, just in case Bigfoot's out there. More news to come on that, so watch this space.
Nigel Sadler says in Glastonbury, anything is possible. Absolutely anything is possible.
That's very true.
And the station master says near Bristol, it's the ghost of Adge Cutler.
No, it's not Adge Cutler. Adge Cutler wasn't 8 foot tall and didn't have big hairy feet as far as I'm aware.
Father says, Jeff, remember Bigfoot was at the Ponderosa? No, I don't remember that episode. But if I was Bigfoot, I would live in Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe is absolutely beautiful. I can't think of any place on earth that's prettier than Lake Tahoe.
Good place to live if you're a semi-mythical tree-living beast.
Yeah, if you're just going to hang out in the woods and eat berries, I mean, what better place than Lake Tahoe?
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually know. Is he a herbivore? Is he a carnivore? I mean, we're not hearing stories of him eating anybody yet, are we?
And if you're just going to hang out in the woods, I mean, you might as well go to a state where pot's legal. So, California, Lake Tahoe.
Absolutely. Smoke a spliff and go up and see Bigfoot. It says it all, doesn't it? So what are you up to next week, Jeff?
Well, I'm on my way to Mississippi, down there. After that, I don't know, but I'm feeling good that we've turned the corner, that maybe all of our Arctic weather is behind us.
I was watching the 10-day deep dive weather forecast today, and apparently we are not going cold in this country till March. There's a thing happening called something. They did a big long term. Basically, it means some of the cold air that's over the poles is allowed to escape, which affects the winds that are up high. And basically, it means we could start getting a bit of snow beginning of March, but they reckon we're warm up until the end of February. So you got that planned. Anything else long term planned next week or so?
Well, I probably won't go home until like the first week of April.
Yeah. Because Jeff, I also have to tell you, Jeff is not far off of retiring, are you, Jeff? Now,
getting close. I could see it now. I can see it. It's getting close.
Now, Jeff is, because Jeff lives in a truck now. I mean, you're seeing Jeff sat in the tractor unit of a standard American semi, which has got the living unit behind the driver's seat and the big bonnet on it. And so Jeff is used to living in a metal box, aren't you, Jeff? And you're thinking of maybe buying an RV and retiring into that.
Yes, RVs are ridiculously cheap here, and
Ridiculously huge, some of them as well, aren't they?
for those of you who are new to our channel, at one time I was a motorcycle mechanic, and I'm actually a pretty good mechanic, and so that's what I'm going to do.
In fact, watch this channel, because one of the stories we're going to be covering soon, in fact, next time Jeff goes home, Jeff has built himself what we call the monkey bike. Oh my God, this thing is eye candy. He's got, tell him a bit about it, Jeff. Don't give him too much away. What's it, the engine and everything?
Well, I broke down in Las Vegas. I was broke down 10 days. The transmission went out in my truck. It was over 4th of July weekend. It was about, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years ago. And I went and rented a little motorcycle, and I liked it a lot. It was cheap. It was a Chinese motorcycle. It was cheap to rent. I went and rented it, rode it around. And I went online and I figured out what they were and where they got them. And I ordered one. And when it came in a huge crate. It arrived at my house. And every time, it was all in parts. It was, a frame and wheels, and the engine was out of it and everything. Every time I took a part out, I would look at it and I would say, well, I could do that better. So I ended up, the only thing I used of the motorcycle was the frame, which I cut in half, and I added a foot to it, and I did a bunch of stuff to the frame. And I also had the manufacturer's certificate of origin with the serial number on it, so I could license it. So I redid it. The engine is Taita. The seat is hand stitched Italian leather. Everything is custom. I used the frame, the fuel tank, and the speedometer is all I used.
Well, maybe next week we could show everybody a picture of it, and then when you go back in April, you can show us it properly and start it up and let us hear that beautiful engine running, because it's a thing of beauty, isn't it? It's great.
It draws a crowd. Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's been amazingly dependable for a Chinese motorcycle. It really has. Of course,
Hello? Who's that then?
Wait, Scotland.
You're in Scotland. Is that Abigail?
It is.
I thought it might be. How are you? Thank you for calling.
You're welcome.
How are things up there in Scotland? It's nice up there, isn't it? You got lots of rain though at the moment, haven't you, in the southwest of Scotland?
Yep, southwest we have a lot of wet, windy rain.
Do you watch Steve Marsh, the guy who I was talking about earlier on?
No, I haven't watched him, but I will look to him the next time I sit down and watch something.
He is great. He is great, because the thing I love about him is just like it's almost, he takes you with him. You're out there with him. You don't feel like you're watching a video. And I love his girlfriend, Alicia. She's great. They together, they're brilliant. But he goes everywhere and he finds interesting, and he's out in the Western Islands a lot. And I've not been out there much. I've been to Ardnamurchan, but I've not traveled around the islands, and I really, really desperately want to. And he does that a lot. I mean, Scotland is achingly beautiful in so many places, isn't it?
It is, but it can also be very, very dreich, and there's lots of midges as well.
For those of you who don't know Scotland, dreich means horrible. And midges, yes. Now, if you like midges, Scotland's the place to go. I mean, you're going to get bitten to buggery if you go up in certain places in Scotland, aren't you?
Yep, certain places, Loch Lomond, if you're in the West Highlands Bay, lots of midges. Take protection for that. Isle of Skye is pretty bad as well.
Aye, yeah, and apparently I was listening to somebody the other day saying Mull's not too clever either. If you don't want to get bitten.
I don't know.
Well, it's lovely talking to you, because I've seen you on the channel lots, because obviously you comment and stuff, but It's lovely to actually, and I love the Scottish accent.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Jeff is
Beautiful.
up there feeling all unnecessary at the moment, aren't you, Jeff? Because of the Scottish
No,
accent.
I have a question though. With us talking about mythological beasts, does Abigail believe in Loch Ness?
Yes, I do.
You're asking a Scotswoman if she believes in Nessie there. Of course I do.
Of course. And for Jeff, there's lots of selkies as well.
Oh, yeah, don't forget them.
I have to admit, I'm not a believer in Bigfoot, but I am definitely on the fence with Nessie because of the guy that was attempting to set the land speed record or the water speed record on Loch Ness, and he ran into something in the lake and died, and they never figured out what it was. That, I mean, you have to be on the fence with that.
That could have been Nessie with a headache, couldn't it?
Could have been. And a sore bum.
Oh, so I mean, you can't just swim around in a lake for 5 minutes without someone parking a bloody speedboat up your arse. I mean, what are you going to do? No wonder you don't put appearances in. I mean, every time you do, they run a speedboat into you.
Only comes out when it feels like it.
Aye, it
It's an age
certainly
thing.
does. So what have you got lined up? What are you planning? What's going on in your life at the moment, Abigail? What have you got to look forward to?
Well, at the moment, my husband, the boys are watching football, and I'm watching you sitting knitting.
You see, now I am sorry, but I am not a football fan. I probably got into trouble because I went up to the East End of London. I went to Stratford the other day, and what was the Olympic Stadium is now West Ham's ground.
Oh,
But
we won't
right
talk
next
about that.
right next door, you could throw a stone from one to the other. It's Sadler's Wells. And I made the comment of said, well, if they can't get a job as a ballerina in Sadler's Wells, they cross the road to West Ham. Because I'm sorry, but I'm probably going to get shouted at in the comments. Jeff, the comments are probably going to explode. But I think modern footballers are a bunch of ballerinas. They really are. I mean, bring back the Jeff Hurst, bring back the Bobby Moores, bring back the Bobby Charltons, the proper footballers, all these ballerinas there. I mean, you've only got to run past them and they fall over in pain. I mean, what's going on?
Oh, yeah. I can hear when they start shouting at the TV. I disappear. Yes. And watch you too.
Well, I'm glad you did, because that means we have an audience of one this evening, which is brilliant. Actually, we've got more than that. But thank you. And Abigail, you can take away the honour of being the first person to ring us up on the show.
Can I just say to everybody, please like, subscribe, and give it a thumbs up.
I like this lady. You can come back again, you know that, don't you?
Yes, call every time. Yes,
call every time. I mean, we are looking now at seriously. We're trying to get up to 2,000 subscribers. I mean, we're about 1,900, something like that. I'm not far off it. Maybe one or two off 1,900. So, if we can get to by March, if we can get to 2,000, because two things happen. First thing that happens is it changes the algorithm, because the more subscribers we get, the more YouTube puts our videos out to other people who've never seen us before as a suggestion. And then the more people that come in and do that, then the more subscribers, and it builds and builds and builds. And then the more people that see the videos, it works better for everybody then.
Yes, it will. It will help you build. I enjoy watching you.
Do you? Oh, thank you. I like this lady, Jeff. Can you make a note of Abigail Irving as her name? Can you write that down somewhere?
I will. But she hasn't mentioned my videos. I feel left out.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, what about Jeff's videos? Do you watch them?
Yes, I watch Jeff's videos and always give him a thumbs up.
Oh, you are there. You go. See, Abigail always gives you a thumbs up there, Jeff.
Thank you.
You made an old man very happy.
Thank you very much to both of you, and hopefully I will see you in Glastonbury this year.
Oh, please!
Be down this
when
year.
You do, you got to let me know, and we'll all go out. You, your husband, and me will go out and grab some food somewhere.
That would be wonderful.
Have you ever eaten a pizza in Gigi's?
No, I make my own handmade pizzas. My family prefer it.
Not when you're on holiday, you don't. So when you're down here, we'll go into Gigi's and I'll show you where to get a good pizza. A good pizza.
Oh,
Brilliant,
good.
cracking Italian restaurant. Anyway, Abigail, it's been fantastic. Thank you so much for calling and being our first caller, number one.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
Bye,
Bye,
bye.
Jeff.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Fantastic. We've had our first caller. That made my day. It's lovely to hear from Abigail there. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, it's painless. Give us a call. The number's there, 0746 464 4288. You can call at any time. Any comments coming in during all that lot, Jeff?
Nigel Sadler says, home for Easter then? I'm not sure whether I'll be home for Easter or not. And he also says, not a Cybertruck. No, there is very few vehicles on the planet that, in my opinion, is uglier than the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Nigel Sadler says, have you got some Hell's Angels leathers to go with the bike? No. This usually coveralls and flip-flops, yes.
I'll post you mine over, Jeff. I've got the bike jacket with all the tassels. And
Not my style. Not that I'm not implying I have a style, but that is not my style.
I think you do. Well, so what am I doing? I've got some videos coming up that I wanted to tell people about. There's a couple of them, actually, both really exciting and interesting videos that people should, find interesting. Firstly, we have a cafe here, and that cafe is called the Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups, I'm just going to show you this. This is, ignore what it's saying there, and it will come past in a minute. This is the Queen of Cups. It's a restaurant in Glastonbury, and it's run by this lovely lady called Aisha, who you might just see here in a minute. And the food is kind of contemporary Lebanese. It's absolutely stunning, the food in there. This lady makes the best, absolutely the best hummus I've ever eaten in my entire life. This is her. This is Aisha. Now, Aisha was on television recently. There she is. She was on one of the cooking programs, Ready Steady Cook or Can't Cook, Won't Cook, or I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. I've forgotten. But people loved her. She didn't win, but her character came across and she was really liked. And so I thought, well, let's go and have a look at the restaurant. Let's go and meet Aisha. Let's see what makes her tick. So that's going to be coming up soon. And as you can see there, it's a beautiful place here in Glastonbury. It used to be called the Hawthorns, and it used to do live music. It still does live music. But another little nod to the wise here. If you're in Glastonbury at the moment, at the time of recording this video, this place does the best coffee in town by a mile. You might have seen the lady wandering around there who makes the coffee. Absolutely incredible.
Better than the coffee from an 80-year-old Pyrex coffee percolator?
Well, do you mean this 80-year-old Pyrex percolator? It's different coffee. This is percolated coffee. And as you can see, I've drunk all of that tonight while I've been on the show. That's how good the coffee is. This is different. She makes like with an espresso machine. She makes lattes and espressos, and look at that food, ladies and gentlemen. Just look. Oh, this lady can cook like nobody's business, and she's fascinating. She's got a great sense of humor. You can see she's laughing all the time. She's got a great sense of humor, and she's just generally a good egg. So I'm really looking forward to going to interview her. And in fact, I'm not interviewing her. If you remember, I work with a lady called Vicky who does Normal for Glastonbury, which is a Facebook site here in Glastonbury with thousands of followers. She's going to interview her because she's actually a friend of Aisha's. I mean, I know Aisha as well, but Vicky and Aisha are good mates. So it makes sense that it would be good to have her interviewing. So that's that one. Now, the other thing that I'm going to be doing is we have a town crier here in Glastonbury who you've probably heard of, called David. And David is a fascinating chap. Let's have a look.
Oh, yay! Oh, yay! Oh, yay! On this day, Saturday.
That's David, our town clerk, bless him. Now, he and I are going to be doing a bit of a video in the next week or so where we're just going to walk up and down High Street and he's going to reminisce. He's lived here since 1980. And he used to teach at the local school, so everybody knows David. It's often you're walking up the high street and some young lads come, "Hello, sir, how you doing? You all right?" Everybody knows him. So I thought that would be a really interesting chap to have a talk with and just to kind of his experience. And he's also a street photographer. And this is where I get excited because while we're running around town, he's going to have his camera with him and he's going to be, taking some shots while we're out up and down. And he said that the shots that he takes while we're out, we can have to put in the film. So we're going to have some of David's street shots to look at as well, which is absolutely brilliant. And I am looking forward to that immensely. So that's what I've got coming up in the next week or two. I'm also off to Cardiff to do a bit of filming up there. And at some point, I may be going to London again. So.
Yeah, that's what you're going to Cardiff for. Yeah.
Well, okay, tell them the truth. Why am I going to Cardiff, Jeff?
I'm thinking it's probably more Krispy Kreme that's calling you up there.
Well, there is Krispy Kreme in Cardiff, and there's also Shake Shack. Shake Shack? Yeah, Shake Shack, ladies and gentlemen. If, like me, you like milkshakes and that sort of thing, Shake Shack is your new friend. They've got the 2 or 3 up in London, one of which I've been to, and they've got one in Cardiff. Now, they do the most amazing milkshakes you've had. They are just... But if you've never heard of concrete, imagine a milkshake 10 times thicker, so you need a spoon for it, and it's probably got large lumps of chocolate and other things in it, and it's called a concrete. And they do concretes that will make your toes curl up. So yeah, that is there. But I also, on a serious note, I want to vlog the journey going there, getting the train, going to Bristol, getting the bus, all of that, because as I say, I want to start doing more vlogging videos. And again, with reference to that, again, I'd like you guys to get involved. If there's anywhere you'd like me to go and visit or anywhere you'd like to see that I could go and film, then let me know. Send me a note at glastonburygabriel@gmail.com or put it in the comments when we're live or put it in the comments of one of my films. Just say, Gabriel, go visit such and such. And we will.
Nigel Tadler said, I heard a lovely tale from a Scots taxi driver who took an American lady to see Loch Ness. While there, a family of otters played on the bank. He told them they were Nessie's babies.
Oh, yes! Oh, that's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Oh, wow. I like that.
KP Fishing says, hi, Gabe. Hi, Jeff. Hope you are doing okay. KP Fishing? I'm quite a fisherman.
Yeah, Jeff is a fisherman. I mean, you got some pretty damn fine reels and rods there, haven't you?
I do. I have, 3 Orvis rods, fly rods, and I have a rod that I went to a fishing show, and they were having a contest, and I won. And basically, I could just walk down through and pick the rod blank that I wanted and the reel seat and the guides and the wrappings and all that, and they did it. They made it. I received it in the mail about 6 weeks later.
Because you fly fish, don't you? You're more of a standing in the river thing.
I do, yeah. I like to fly fish, but I have no idea what that rod's worth, but I'd love to have it in cash.
I bet. So how long is it since you fished, Jeff? When did you last fish?
Longer than I feel comfortable admitting, but retirement is coming soon.
Yeah. Fishing and gold panning.
Actually, the last time I went fishing was quite a funny story.
Go on.
I was home in Montesino, and my sister Darla, she said that she had talked to someone, I guess, and one of the lakes in the local area around Montesino was was full of fish, that there was lots of fish in it. And she said, if you want to go up there, she said, we can go up there and I'll just hang out on a picnic table and you can go fishing. I said, well, it sounds like fun. I'll grab my fly rod. We drove out to this lake. She went and sat down at a picnic table. I must have landed 4 fish in 5 minutes. And this guy come walking along and he said, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm fishing. Because I had stopped and got a fishing license. And I had told them the lake that we were going to. And I asked him if it was open. Oh, yeah, it's open. Here's your license. I paid the money. Went out there. Guy walks up to me. He goes, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm fishing. He says, well, you can't fish. This lake's not open.
What? You just been sold a license for it.
Yeah. But I didn't get in trouble. So, and all that. And the trout were tasty. So.
Were they? So KP Fishing, hi guys, thanks for dropping by. It's nice to see you. I hope you've seen most of the show. If you haven't, then we're going to be doing this again. When are we doing this again, Jeff? We're going to do it in a fortnight or a week. What do you think?
Well, we'll see what material we have and go from there.
Okay, because we don't just want to come on here with nothing to show or nothing to offer and just chat and hopefully something will turn up. We try.
When Abigail calls back, we have to ask her if it's true that people with a Scottish accent can't say purple burglar alarm.
Purple burglar alarm. We'll have to ask her that. There you are, Abigail. Next time you call in, we'll be asking you that. Definitely.
Patricia says, whoopsie, I'm late.
Hello, Patricia. Hello, George. Hi, guys.
Abigail says, my brother enjoyed fly fishing. I'll bet he did because fly fishing. Yeah, Scotland, yeah. Sadly, I lost him in December from cancer. That my condolences. That is very sad.
That is sad. But when Jeff comes over here, we'll probably take him up to Scotland so he can do a bit of fly fishing. It's the salmon fishing up there supposed to be some of the best in the world.
I hear tales about gold panning up there. I think one of my gold pans would fit very good in my bag.
Jeff's gold panning is famous. I mean, Jeff actually went out, panned some gold, found it, and sent it to my mum. She had this little file with real gold in it, and she loved that gold. She kept it on her dressing table.
She didn't do with it what I would have done with it, though. Tell the story about the stream behind her house.
Well, yeah, there's a stream runs at the bottom of Mum's garden. And we thought, wouldn't it be great? Although it wasn't the right sort of goldy stream, but we thought you could put this gold in there and say, look what we found in the stream, and start a gold rush in their back garden. But she wasn't up for that, was she?
We tried to talk her into going out there and sprinkling, a little in the pan. And when anyone asked if she found anything, she could have just said, well, yeah, look.
And I mean, Welsh gold is famously the best gold in the world.
Yeah.
So, hey, but it's a lost opportunity, never mind.
KP Fishing says, Jeff, I've got into sea fishing, so I'm new to it. My brother-in-law is an old hand at it.
Oh, sea fishing, that's a different thing altogether, isn't it?
Abigail says, lots of locks where I live for fishing you would enjoy, Jeff. Yes, I would. And I would have to hop across the pond and go over to Ireland because my family is from Cong, C-O-N-G, in Ireland.
Yeah, that's down south near Waterford way, isn't it? Out there. Yeah, and there's some good fishing out there as well.
Nigel says, sorry, guys, I've got to leave you. Hopefully I will catch you next time. Nigel, thank you so much.
been a pleasure having you here, Nigel. In fact, I've just looked at the time. It's 9 o'clock. We've done an hour, and we set out to do half an hour. We've done an hour, and so before we start boring everybody, I think we'll draw it to a close. What do you reckon, Jeff?
Andrew Norris just popped in. It seems sad to.
Oh, Andrew, hi. We got the sound right. Can you hear me?
It says, "Damn, I seem to have missed most of this." Hey, chaps.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry, Andrew. It will be live on the channel. Well, it won't be live. It'll be show up on the channel later. But we've had a good show. We've had, I think, we've had some interesting stuff to talk about, and the sound worked. Everything worked.
We didn't even get to most of it. We still have stuff.
Do we? What have I missed? Because I'm working from a script here, just so I don't miss anything. What have I missed?
I seem to remember there was a fat old geezer with foil on his head.
Oh, yes. Jeff has another film. Yes, hang on. Oh, damn. Jeff travelled through Roswell recently. And hang on a minute. Yeah, Jeff travelled through Roswell recently. And because of that, a certain video was made. And I am just going to show you that video now because it's quite interesting. And here it comes. Ladies and gentlemen, be careful if you're driving through Roswell.
I'm in Muskogee, Oklahoma, and I'm here today on a very busy road to show you a monument of American ingenuity and craftsmanship, a castle. This castle was built in the 1960s largely of plywood, cardboard, and spray-on foam. Archaeologists have found a treasure trove of artifacts left by the builders of this American monument. Archaeologists believe it may have been this northern tribe. They believe this because of the articles that they have found in their diggings around the site. They seem to have had a particular parchment for this Milwaukee beer. It is, however, believed from evidence left at the site that they had a typical American diet for the time. The castle's formidable defenses could have fended off attackers for several minutes unless they brought stones or large sticks with them. I was particularly impressed with how secure the gate looked. I know I could sleep inside this castle knowing that I was completely defended from all attackers. It's moments like this that I feel genuine pride that I am an American. My mother, who died 9 years ago and I miss very much, was born in this hospital in Muskogee, Oklahoma. And it was fun, if only for a few minutes, to tour the town of her birth. I hope you enjoyed this little tour of the castle in Muskogee, Oklahoma. It was a pleasure to bring it to you. This is day 38 for me since I left my house. It really hasn't affected me too much yet, other than the aliens are trying to read my mind. I think they're back now. No, I have not had any immoral thoughts, except for the boat lady. Okay, I gotta go.
There you go. This is, you know, there's funny things going on up at Roswell, and Jeff tried to protect himself with the silver helmet there to reflect the waves, but the aliens are just too strong up there, aren't they, brother?
Yeah, sometimes they just get through, yes.
Yeah, there's nothing a man can do about it. So, any final words to all of our hundreds and thousands of viewers this week?
Abigail says, you boys were brilliant. Much love and blessings to you both.
Thank you, Abigail. Thank you very much.
Patricia says, I love the Snowman movie.
That was a good movie. Yeah, it was a good movie. And I just think some of those snowmen, the one eating the kid and the one, oh my God, who killed Kenny? And the upside down one is fantastic. Some people, I never knew people took the time. And they were quite funny, a lot of them, weren't they?
Andrew says, great hat, Jeff. This is a Mardi Gras hat, a genuine Mardi Gras hat.
That's a damn good.
It is Mardi Gras week, and they're in St. Louis and New Orleans. It's the Mardi Gras season.
Mm. Yes, and that happens every year, and it's a great event. Have you ever been down there when it's been on, Jeff?
I have been in New Orleans the week before Mardi Gras when the streets were clean and everyone was happy. And I have been there the week after Mardi Gras when everyone was angry and sick and the streets were not clean.
And had all had hangovers and everything. Oh dear. Because we don't have, I guess the nearest we have to Mardi Gras is probably, and I'll probably get shouted down for this, but I think it's probably Notting Hill Carnival is our closest to Mardi Gras. And that's great. I've been to that a couple of times.
Well, yeah, a person has to say, in all truth and honesty, that Mardi Gras used to be an excuse to let your hair down and party a little bit, and they've cracked down on it a lot.
Yeah.
It's not like it used to be. Now people that really want to party, they go to Carnival down in South America.
Hmm. Yeah, likewise here in Notting Hill Carnival, we used to have a lot of aggro going on, a lot of trouble, gang stuff going on.
Andrew Norris says, Jeff, I meant the silver paper hat. Okay, well.
Well, there is that. Yeah, that was a good hat as well. Even if it didn't work so well.
Barry West says, hi, Gabriel. Hi, Jeff. It's very nice to see you. Barry, you're a little late, though.
Hey, Barry. Yeah, we started at 8, not 9, but never mind. We will be doing this on a regular basis. As I explained before, we want really to have content and things to talk about and things to show you when we do it. So we don't just want to say, oh, we're going to be every week and then have nothing and just sort of sit here and talk aimlessly. So we will be letting everybody know soon. I'll put a short out and I'll let everybody know when we're going to do it again. But if we've got content, I don't see why we can't come back next week.
Well, yes, but one thing I should say is that you can't always count on me because I work a lot of hours.
Yeah. That's a good point, actually. Jeff, as you know, is a truck driver, and he can be driving anywhere from anywhere to anywhere in America. And often the demands of the freight industry means he hasn't got very long to get from point A to point B. So quite often may well be times when Jeff is going to be barreling down the road at 70 miles an hour with 40,000 pounds on his.
I won't be able to answer the comments, but that might be a fun show.
Well, exactly. I mean, Jeff has been looking after the comments tonight because I haven't been at all. So we'll see what happens, how slick this program is without Jeff to help run it. But there may well be times.
Mr. Merlin and the Somersetters, has Jeff ever seen UFOs whilst traveling through Oswald? I saw, we had a meteor that skipped. No, it was just one big meteor, and it skipped through the atmosphere. It was down in Texas. It was 4 or 5 years ago. It was really bright, and I saw that. Actually, it went right in front of me. It was kind of on the horizon.
Yeah.
And I was out in the middle of nowhere. I saw that. The weirdest thing I ever had, I was by Mount Shasta in Northern California, and I was driving along, and something flew over me, and I don't know what it was, but it was big. I mean, it was big. Now, California condors get huge, and we have chicken buzzards and chicken hawks, and I mean, some of our birds get really big, so I'm sure that's what it was. But it was very startling. It was like, wow, that is a big bird.
Yeah, my closest encounter for anything like that, I was driving up to Mum's one day, and I was in the Midlands somewhere on the motorway, and suddenly it ran parallel. It came from behind me to in front of me down my right hand side, and obviously we drive on the proper side over here, so I was sitting on the right hand side of the car. In America on the left, you probably would have missed it, but hey, we won't go there. But anyway, because I'm driving on the right side of the car, this thing it went along and then just carried on and carried on and carried on. And I thought, oh, is that going to land and go with a big flight bang? Because it was a big, huge thing. And it's the only time I've ever seen it. It happened, it was over before, no time to film it. But it was on the news. Loads of people saw it that night.
I was in Texarkana when the Challenger, the space shuttle broke up. I was in Texarkana. I was down there. I saw on the highway, all the search crews,
looking for the bits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Barry West says, just got back from meditation class. I could use that.
Yeah, who couldn't?
What will you do when you call in to trucking, Jeff? I used to work as a mechanic. I worked in a shop that worked on motorcycles, and I've been known to wrench on cars. When I was growing up, if the carburetor went out on the car, my dad would not rebuild the carburetor. He would come and get me, and he would say, I'm going to rebuild this carburetor. You need to be here to see this. And I would sit down and I would do it. And then from that time on, if something he'd done, he would say, you know how to do it, kind of thing. So I'm very handy. So I'm going to buy RVs over here. If they're more than 10 years old, they're ridiculously cheap. I mean, they give them away. And I'm going to buy a motorhome, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go fishing and bullpenning.
Fantastic. That sounds like a great thing to do. And I'm going to come over there and I'm going to join you. And we're going to sit by the side of that river and not get very rich on the gold we find.
You can find gold.
I know.
I can take you to a dozen places where you'll find gold, and you could look at it and say it's gold. But when you weigh it out, even though it's $1,200-$1,300 an ounce, whatever it is, it takes a lot of gold to
make an ounce. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You don't think an ounce as much, do you?
It's like the gold that I found that I sent your mom in the little bottle. That's $60 worth of gold.
Yeah. I suppose if you're doing it on a daily basis for a few hours and you can build that up, you can make a weekly income from it.
Well, you couldn't pay your energy costs. You couldn't pay for fuel, but you could live on pork and beans. You could buy a loaf of bread.
Live on pork and beans, you wouldn't have any energy costs. You'd be producing enough methane to run a city.
What more do you need? I mean, pork and beans.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm going to call it a day there because we've been going an hour and a quarter. People have got other things to do. We're going to be losing people soon anyway. Leave them wanting more, they say. So we'll say goodnight to everybody. Thank you so much to everybody who's joined us.
Yes,
thank you for those comment. Abigail, you were a total star being our first phone caller. Absolutely brilliant. We've passed our first milestone. We've had our first caller. Fantastic. Maybe next week, Abigail will call back and maybe somebody else will call.
I hope so. And she has 2 weeks to practice saying purple burglar alarm.
Purple burglar alarm. There you go, Abigail. Down to you, girl. Well, thank you again, everybody, for coming along tonight. I have enjoyed this immensely. I hope we can build this up so that we can get a few people along each week and have a gas. And the more that you put into it, the more you can get out of it. So don't forget, if you want to put a little video in or do anything or contribute in any way, it's your show. We want you to get involved and we want you to bring to it what you want to bring. But for now, from Jeff.
Bye, everybody.
And from me, we're going to say tatty bye and see you on the next one. Tatty bye, everybody. Bye-bye. There you go.